Welcome in D&D and Baldurs Gate fans, Dungeon Master Tyflo Ren here with a side interaction you definitely don't want to miss out in the early stages of the campaign. Plus also there's a bit of backstory with the characters involved. This has a Tiefling Bard named Nadira and a would-be bugbear assassin that is sent to kill her from an unknown devil. I will be adding a little bit of lore and speculation on the characters involved near the end too, so make sure to stick around for that. Nadira can initially be found in the Druid Grove in Act 1, just east of the road where players first interact with Zevlor. Specifically, you will enter the location to the right, cross a fallen tree that acts like a bridge, and Nadira can be found at the very top of the hill, overlooking the entire camp through a telescope. Both you and the party and her may be ambushed by a bugbear assassin, but hey, since I'm giving you this guide, that ain't gonna happen now, is it? Also, you could literally see it coming from a mile away. Not really a good assassin or really living up to the assassin name. The assassin really isn't that hard when it comes to combat regardless of whatever build you're running. After assassinating the assassin, Nadira has a conversation with you that could go one of two ways. First, she thanks us for saving her by having the audacity of accusing us of all things for being there only for her soul coin that she's holding. Well, that's kind of a mistake on her end to let a complete stranger know that she has something of value on her in the first place. This opens up some unique dialogue options for us to either persuade, intimidate, or potentially deceive her into handing over that coin to us. Now, there is, I guess, a good option of not taking the coin off her and acting like a moral person. But I will just let you know now, you really don't get anything out of it, and it's not worth picking up. What you should do, in my personal opinion, is to pick the deception option, pass the charisma check to hand over that soul coin, plus, as a little bonus, Shadowheart approves of this, and you get to improve your relationship with her as well. You get a coin, Shadowheart's approval, and this could maybe help in the long term if you want to romance her as well. Question 2, I think most of the fandom loves Shadowheart. Let me know if you think that's a character you all genuinely love, honestly, because I do plan on making a Baldur's Gate 3 companion tier list in the near future. 2 separate ones probably, with the first being combat potential, and the other one for dialogue slash story choices that could be subjective, and I'll definitely want to hear everyone's thoughts on before I actually make that specific tier list. Now, my question for all of you is, who is the devil that Nadira is running from? And is the bugbear assassin connected to this devil that's hunting her, or completely separate? We know Nadira is part of the refugee tieflings from Elturel, which was transported into Avernus, the first of the 9 hells. Now, for a little bit of extra lore on top, Elturel descended into Avernus after the leader of the city, Krieg, made a deal with the archdevil Zariel to help get rid of the vampires in the city, specifically with an infernal device powered by an imprisoned planetar. Now, I won't go into so much detail on the device itself. We could definitely save that story for a different video. Zariel did keep her end of the contract and bargain, however, Elturel was hers to claim, and she planned to use the citizens and defenders of the city as part of her very own personal army in the blood war between the devils of the 9 hells and the demons of the abyss. And yes, that is also a story and lore piece for another time too. Now my theory is this devil that Nadira is running from is definitely a part of Zariel's army, plus Nadira somehow swindled the devil out of their own contract, and as a little bit of rubbing salt in the wound, also stole a soul coin from them on top of it. As a brush up on D&D lore, devils do love making deals and contracts with mortals. However, in the few instances of these, they themselves can somehow be outwitted through loopholes in their own contract, which infuriates the absolute living 9 hells out of them. They get bamboozled, plus also they lose out on a potential soul they could have got for themselves to rise up in the ranks of the 9 hells. So my thought is, after Nadira not only loopholed them in their own contract, whatever it may be, on top of stealing a soul coin from them, the devils sent a bugbear assassin to potentially kill her on their behalf, maybe making a contract with the bugbear, and somehow They did this because they're restricted to Avernus or Elturel. Otherwise, they would have gone after Nadira themselves. But that's what I got for this D&D and Baldur's Gate vlog. Let me know in the comments what kind of lore or topics you would love for me to cover in future videos. Plus also let me know in the comments your favorite builds and characters that you're running. And as always, if you love talking shop about all things D&D, Baldur's Gate, a little bit of Warhammer and Elder Scrolls as well, hit that like, subscribe buttons, and bell notifications, and I'll save you a seat at the table for the next adventure.